had a big Billy Joel, Elton John tribute band, blah, blah, blah. So if if you want to do a fundraising effort, that helps us too. Our second thing is we have banquet and meeting rooms. I'm sure you've heard the rec center is changing things around a little bit with how many meetings you do a year?
They want us to have 4. We generally have 10.
Okay, so that means you pay for the other 6, the space. But you have space. You don't have to pay for meeting space.
Oh, no.
You do pay for this.
Well,
okay.
They're talking about that right now.
Okay, so they're working on all that, but we do have meeting space. We are not as cheap as the rec center because we don't get $1,000 a year from all of our residents, but we do have pretty good, inexpensive meeting rooms. So if you need a baby shower, a memorial service or something, you can check out our meeting space. I think that's on the back of the flyer if you want to look at it. And then we give meeting space away to Kiwanis and Rotary Club, some people that don't have a place to meet, or we give it to them really cheap. We also have 7 churches that meet on our property, and they do pay us, but that's another way that we support the community. Third is this resale shop, Sun Health Resale Shop. Who knows the resale shop? All the ladies are going to raise their hands, okay. That is a great place, and they don't pay us rent. They're right next door to our office, which is a big problem for me, but they don't pay us any rent, but if they have a good month, we share in their proceeds. So I want to make sure you understand when you donate to them, all of the money is staying in Sun City West. I'm not going to name any other places you can donate, but we think it would be a good idea, if you will, donate to the Sun Health Resale Shop because it stays here in our community. Some of you got that joke. Okay, and then Helping Hands Resale. This is kind of new. Whoever had this brainchild is brilliant. Maybe you had to buy because you needed something long-term, more than 90 days. If you have a wheelchair or a walker or toilet riser or shower chair, whatever, and you want to get it out of your house, you can donate it to Helping Hands. They will clean it, deodorize it, all that kind of stuff, and then they sell it really, really cheap. So 2 things, you can donate it, and that helps us when we sell it, make a little bit of money. And if you need to buy one, don't go to whatever, CVS or something, go there and see if you can buy it. There's things you can buy that we don't actually loan. We don't loan knee scooters. But somebody donated us one. We sold it like 6 times. They bring it back, they donate it again, we sell it again. So that's been a little bit of money, which is kind of growing. So I just want to let you know that is a way you can get stuff out of your house, and we'll take it. Anything you borrow from them is new, under warranty, with recall notice and everything. So we don't loan out stuff that people donated to us. So, and real last is Prides and Posse. We all know Prides and Posse. We support them by giving them space. So Prides is at our Helping Hands back there behind that. That's where they have all of their stuff. We give them that space for $1 a year. And I don't know that they actually really even do that, because what they do is they keep our landscaping looking nice. A few years ago they said this place is a wreck, and so they did that. It looked bad, and they redid all that for us. And then the Posse, they're at the end of our, so if you don't know where we are, everybody knows where the Posse is. That's our complex, that whole L-shaped thing. They pay us $1 a year. They signed a 99-year lease. They paid us in advance, so they're good for quite a while. So a lot of people don't know that. Quick things that we do. 3 things we do. Did you know that Valley View Community Food Bank sets up the food pantry at Sun City West Foundation every Monday? Some of you are nodding your heads. They serve over 200 people every Monday. So you may not be food insecure, but I guarantee there are people in our community that are, and I don't know how people pay $4 for a dozen eggs. So no matter, especially if you're on a fixed income. So if you know somebody, tell them, go over to the food bank. You can't believe the stuff you get there. And if you want to volunteer or drop food off there that you want to donate, you can do it right there and not have to drive all the way to Sun City. So we love that, and we are a Red Cross emergency shelter. So if there's an electromagnetic pulse or a zombie apocalypse, which I am a believer, we have a generator that will power that whole building, and that's where you can come. I know, who knew that? And last thing, which I just think is really cool, who loves that Boulevard of Flags down R.H. Johnson? Yeah. We store their flags for them because American Legion doesn't have any, they don't have an office, so we store stuff for them, and they do that every year. So my big ask, thank you, she knows I'm struggling with fingers over here. My big ask is, if you have time to donate, at Helping Hands, we would love that, and when you get that letter, keep us in mind, we would really appreciate that. So thank you, and you'll be hearing from us for the next big event I think it's gonna be in November. We're looking for some big things that we can do in the auction, so keep that in mind.
Teresa, thank you very much. Any questions from anyone?
I have a question.
Yes.
When you said your food bank, is that close to the actual Helping Hands where we rent things?
It's on the opposite corner where the posse is.
Yes.
But it's on the absolute opposite corner, so it's right there when you pull in. They got a big sign out every Monday, you can't miss it.
Good.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Wow, that was very informative. I don't know if I can guys, but I learned a lot. Thank you
so much.
Okay, we're gonna try and kind of kick through the agenda today. We have a lot of things to talk about. First off is the pneumatic extruder out in the back area. That's the one that's run with the compressor. And there's been a lot of back and forth on it. It needs a total rehaul. And to replace everything that needs to be replaced is gonna be about $650. And that cost is due to the fact they don't make the parts anymore, they have to manufacture them for us. That would be replacing all hoses and everything else. And Lucy has agreed to donate a compressor to make that work. Now there's another side to that, and I'm gonna let Mark or Mike, whoever wants to take that, discuss that. And then we'll talk a little bit more about what you think and usage, and if you really think that's a worthwhile thing to go forward with. So, which one of you wanted to?
More familiar with the equipment than I am. What do you want to cover?
You had some safety issues at the meeting yesterday too.
Yes, I do. So I'll take it.
Safety, and you can just, if you want to add to what you know about.
Okay, just as a precursor here. Here at Sun City West, we try to give everybody the tools they need to be safe and the instructions to be safe. And so when you see a sign that says, you know, do not adjust the pressure, don't adjust the pressure. The pneumatic extruder is a very powerful piece of equipment and it's very dangerous. So if you don't know how to use it, get trained on it. And don't adjust things you shouldn't be adjusting, okay? I don't know, do we have the compressor coming now or is it in?
No, the compressor will not, we won't plan on the compressor until we decide as a group that this is what we want.
Well, similar to that, we have a new grinder, thanks to Mike. The old one died, and so we had to replace it. And it's forced us to take a look at the issues surrounding the grinder. It's a very powerful piece of equipment. Can take a piece of finger off or a whole hand, whatever, if you don't use it right. So we were initially wondering, how do we keep people safe using that? And I guess what we've come down with is for now, we would like anybody using the grinder, take a spotter with you out there. Someone who can stand there and watch over and maybe be the voice of reason if you're doing something that maybe isn't so safe. Because I've been out in that area a number of times where I'm the only person for a long period of time. And I found that, you know, a lot of times when people get injured, they faint. So, you know, somebody could be out there for a long time with an injury. So a spotter is always a good person to have. And please, if you don't know how to use that piece of equipment properly, find somebody that you can talk to that will help you and understand how to use it. Because again, that is a very powerful piece of equipment. Yes?
I also belong to the metal shop, and we have to get trained and certified in order to use certain machines. Is that a possibility that you have to show a certification before you can use it?
Right, we talked about that option, and we may look at that in the future, but for right now, you know, well, it's there right now, and I want to make sure nobody gets hurt until we, yes?
Would it be possible to get some goggles or the things that we can see through?
Yeah, to that point, Mike just found a shield that you should be wearing.
But you can't see through.
It's brand new.
It's
Mike bought it.
It's a brand new one.
Oh, okay.
And in fact, unfortunately, Mike put on there a sign, rinse it off after you've used it.
Good idea, yeah.
Somebody didn't just rinse it off, they scrubbed it off, and of course, those plastics get cloudy when you do that, so, don't scrub it. But it's
Is
there.
there somebody in here that sews it, could make it a little bag to put it in so the sun and the dirt doesn't get to it?
Good suggestion.
Just a thought, you don't have to volunteer, just think about it. Spread the word, because it
Yeah,
gets so
that's a
damaged out
possibility.
there.
Okay,
Thank you.
so again, it's there, we want you to use it if you need to, but be aware that, it is dangerous, and if you have any questions, find somebody that's familiar with it, so you don't get hurt. Okay?
Thank you. Mike, did you have anything to add?
When we bought the grinder, we replaced the face mask with brand new. Be sure you don't, because there's so much particulate involved, if you try to brush off the dust, it just scratches it. So take it in and just run it under a faucet, and that'll clean it pretty well. And we'll keep an eye on it. If the face shield gets scratched up again, we'll replace the shield again. On the extruder, the extruder was purchased in '05, so it's 17 years old. And the trouble with high pressure pneumatics is, all the rubber hoses have been sitting outside in 110-degree weather and 8% humidity for a long time. And they need to be replaced. The foot pedal is messed up. There's a bunch of parts that just are in the high pressure loop that need to be replaced in order to make it a safe piece of equipment again. What we don't want is a hose bursting or something, right? And then once we do get it running, it deserves a lot of respect because it's got a lot of power behind it, so keep that in mind. But anyway, the parts we've assessed that need replacement are in the high pressure side, and they're either rubber or plastic, and so, as you know, stuff wears out in this, especially in this environment. So that's the deal.
Thank you, Mike. Yeah, Pam?
Are there enough people that use it to make it worth repairing?
The pneumatic extruder. There was one person who went around and asked people if they were interested in it, and she got 20 signatures. But I am going to ask you guys by a raise of hand. We'll have a little more discussion first, because I would like to get a form of what the true feeling is out there. It's $650. How many of you in here use that?
Well, there was no compressor and it wasn't by a plug, so.
Right, and not having had a compressor there for 2 years, that has an impact on it also.
Yeah. so
But there have been
nobody-
several people, oh, we got a question up here. I'm coming to you. Yes, you
I don't have a question. I was here in 2005 and it was used a lot. But it fell into disrepair, and I think possibly the person who really knew how to use it either moved or who knows. But that's kind of the nature of the beast. If we get it repaired, I think there are those that will use it. It's fabulous for making coils, for all of you who are coil people. You can stick a whole bag of clay in it. Jerry,
And Barb, did you have anything to say?
No, Martha and I use it when it's operable, so, and we would like to have it.
Anybody else? Jerry, did you have any comments?
When we did have it before, you had to go to demonstrations to make sure you knew how to use it. And I think that kind of thing needs to be done again so that we don't cause any problems ourselves. The other thing I was gonna say, I think you brought up a good point, Barb, as far as making sure that there's a cover on those. Even if you didn't have anybody that could make a cover, I think a box would also be nice. Just a little box and have it marked so that, again, you keep stuff out, but nothing's gonna crush it if something gets placed there.
I can make a cover.
Thank you.
Oh, I was
Oh,
gonna say.
Suzanne has
Tell-
offered to make.
You
a
just
cover.
need a fabric cover?
Yeah,
I can make a cover.
wonderful, thank
Just
you, Suzanne.
tell me the dimensions and, no problem.
I bet Mike could get you the dimensions. Thank you, Suzanne. Okay, so I am going to ask by a raise of hands, how many people think that we should go forward and put the money into the extruder, get it back in working order, and we'll get that compressor in here.
Put a hand up
Okay,
for me.
you got it.
Thanks.
Terry. I got it. Gosh, I hope I got this right. I got 43.
I got 42. Big
But-
deal.
Okay, very good. Okay, so, Toy, could you take a look and see how many people we have on the list? Should be numbered.
49.
Okay, I say that passes overwhelmingly. So we will go forward with repairing, but this is one of those items that will need definite training and maybe, as you say, certification. We will have to have people who know what they're doing with you or running it. It can be very dangerous, I'm told. You gotta keep your hands back while it's running. So just plan on there being some pretty good documentation and safety items that will need to be followed with it.
I just have a quick question. When we voted, our guys up there did not raise their hand. Were they just not raising them, or are you guys against it for some reason?
The reason I didn't raise my hand is from the beginning, it's just my opinion, but I think there's too much power there. And there are instances where if you're looking the wrong way and throw the wrong lever, you can hurt yourself. And I just worry about the fact that we're a retired community and I don't think as well as I used to. And when I looked at how much power is behind that and how quickly things can happen, you better have your ducks lined up in a row so that you've done all the right things so that when you throw the lever, you don't get hurt. So I thought it was, it's just my opinion, I thought it was just too much power and maybe a little dangerous for our environment. But I believe that if we decide to go along with bringing it back to life, we need a group of people who are willing to put procedures together, well-written, documented procedures that we can put in the file. Two, we need a group of users that can and are willing to provide regular training. And we need to make sure that no one goes back to use it that hasn't had the training, doesn't have the procedures available, and knows exactly what they're doing. I think we can create an environment where it can be as safe as possible, right? And so I'm willing to work with you on that. And anyway, that's my opinion.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Again, this will be one of those things where you definitely have to do it 2 at a time. We do that with the manual extruder anyway, but you definitely are gonna have to have 2 people out there. It's just a smart thing to do. Okay, so I'm gonna try and move along the agenda.
Please.
I'm sorry, I didn't say motion. Okay, video cameras, excuse me. They have been selected and will be ordered within the next week. I anticipate them hopefully being installed by end of February. And I just wanted to remind everybody that we're having board elections right now. Please check your email. If you haven't voted, please go forward and vote. The voting will stop on Friday, tomorrow, at 2:30 p.m. So if you haven't done so, please take a look at it and cast your votes. And the suggestion box, I get lots of good suggestions from the suggestion box. Unfortunately, some of them really need to be answered one-on-one. And when I don't have a name or telephone number or anything, it's not that it hasn't been considered, but if I can't contact you and let you know what's going on, you never know if it's been considered or not. So please put your names on them if you don't mind, and I can keep it confidential, no big deal. One of the suggestions we had, and I know someone from the club suggested the other day, all the bowls of hope that are on that top shelf, we need that shelf for, you know, putting things from the kiln on. So if there's somebody who knows where to take those bowls, and you know, ask them, who was it that did Wham? Yeah, if there's anybody connected with Wham, if you can see if we could go ahead and give them those, and then we'll continue on this year getting more bowls for them, that would be great. Also, well, I'll come down here to that. We have made a change back in the wheel area. The table back there, it seems to be a point of contention amongst the whole club. And we've had people, when we're busy from hand building, go back there. Well, that crowds the people who are on the wheel trying to set their wet goods up there that they're gonna need to pull handles for and embellish and all of that. We made a swap because we have had so many people having to turn around and go back home. There's nowhere to work. So we've swapped the tables from between the rollers in the hand building area with the table that is in the wheel area, which kind of downsizes the wheel people, and I'm sorry for that. But if you don't put your purses and your locker stuff and your tools on that table and keep it just for your wet clay as you need to be able to work with it there, I hopefully that will be adequate space. We won't always be this busy, you know, in a couple of months things are going to die down quite a bit, but for now, doing the swap has afforded us 4 other places to seat people, and it is being utilized. So I thank you for your patience and understanding with that, but that is the reason why that was changed.
I have a question. How about if we consider buying another large table so that the wheel area has a table approximately the same size as they did before, and we just offer that table, the small table, up for auction and make a swap?
That's a possibility. However, I think you're gonna go back to the same problem where people are gonna dump their stuff on it. But we can talk about that for sure.
With more people back for the high season here, that table, I think, in my short observation, is that at times it's just too small, just an opinion.
Okay, that's good, that's fine.
There is an area underneath it that we could probably utilize to put store pieces or whatever, or boxes or something. Anything less than the top of the table, because that's what we use mostly is the top of the table. So, but there's a place you can store that stuff underneath.
Exactly, you can store your purses on the shelf. We have a shelf for purses, we have hooks for coats. Things that come out of your locker, that table is not to hold your locker stuff. Okay, your tools can go with you over to the wheel when you're working on the wheel. But these people who are making lots of items need some elbow room to be able to put handles on or work however you're going to need to work it.
I was just wondering if that high table on the end in the hand building, I mean the beginner hand building, that end one, could we swap it out?
Because it's the same size.
Yeah, I did check that out. The problem with that is it's only 3 feet wide as opposed to 4 foot wide. So that would be up to the people back in the hand building area. It is longer than what you have, but it's more narrow. And it's already been discussed with hand building, and they're willing to swap out if you want to do that, but it is going to be more narrow. So we can take this offline and chat about it, and unless somebody has a real strong opinion right now, that'd be good. No?
Could they just get a big piece of plywood and stick on the top or a tabletop and
That's a really good suggestion. We can talk to Mike about that, because he's our little handyman. That might be a really good solution. And Mike, he's kind of bored. He doesn't have much to do. I just want to mention too, we had a problem with the roller back in the beginning hand building room on Tuesday. It's already fixed. It's done. Okay, we'll be taking a look at the table there, see if we can do something more. But we still need to impress that if you've got stuff, locker stuff, coats, purses, doesn't belong on that table. Okay, next on the list is working to integrate the new people. I don't know about you guys, but when I was new, it felt really awkward coming into the club. I was afraid to ask people about how to do stuff. Luckily, I had a buddy who drug me around, Deb. You know, so we together started making friends with other people, and that worked well. Not all new people do that. Yeah. Not all new people have that opportunity. They come in alone and just are feeling uncomfortable. So what we've done in the past is we've had the little yellow aprons, and a few people have been willing to wear them. I got lots of complaints on how big they were and how they cut into the neck the way the straps were. And so I asked for suggestions, and I got suggestions. And actually, one of them was headbands, and so 3 of the people who were talking about it said, let's get some bumblebee headbands. They're still yellow and black and bright, and people will definitely notice you. So if you take a look, you'll see where the aprons are. We now have headbands too. So if you are willing to be that person that some new person can tap you on the shoulder and say, I need help, throw on a headband. You can wear the apron if you want, but the headbands are pretty darn cute. So anyway, that way hopefully we can help integrate our newbies. And the roller auction was successful. John Saylor won the auction, and the next person in line for it, it was the difference of $3.99. It was very close, yeah. So, okay, reminder, club closure in May, and I think, yeah, May 9th will be the last day that we're open, and that week prior to, we will be doing a lot of clearing out of stuff. So in May, keep in mind, you have to have all your stuff taken home in April, first part of May, not your things out of your locker. Your lockers are fine. So anything you have on the shelves, you need to put in your locker, put in your car, take home, whatever. But we have to have all the shelves cleared, all the countertops cleared. We got to have the floors all cleared. So that stuff cannot hang around here. And I hate to say this, but we don't have any other options but to get rid of it. If you leave your stuff here, and I'm sorry if it's a beautiful fish or a wall hanging or just a pinch pot, whatever it is, you gotta pick it up. It's gotta be out of the club. So if you aren't gonna be here, please designate a buddy or someone to get it for you or put it in your locker. It's the last thing I wanna do is throw somebody's work away. I don't wanna do it. Please don't put us in that position. So, thank you for that.
What's the last day that it needs to be out? Like if we're throwing the first week and we need to take it out wet, so be it. But what's the last day we have to have our stuff out?
Okay,
Our made stuff.
I'm gonna ask Georgie when her last firing day is. I don't know if she's got that decision made yet, but everything has to be out of the club the week ending the 9th. The 10th we are closed, that's a Friday. So the Thursday, the 9th, we have to have everything done, absolutely done.
That's all the drying racks and everything, right?
That's drying racks, everything. Yeah.
I feel like I'm announcing. The number 1 tea is now available. The last day, looking at the calendar and trying to anticipate what may happen, the last day for firing is gonna be May 3rd. We'll load, it's a Friday, we'll load on Friday, we'll unload things on Monday, and then that's it. So we'll have a full week to get everything cleared out. So,
So the 3rd is the last day you're gonna load,
correct,
and so the 6th is
correct.
5th, whatever.
Yeah, and that way, everybody will have a
3
week.
days.
And you'll be sending notices, right? Because some of us forget.
You betcha. Every day, whatever it takes.
Make notes and Barb a daily email. Okay, yeah.
I don't need it, Mike. Are you gonna ask for volunteers to come in and help clean, or how are do we, in the way, if we come in to help you move things? Is there a day that we're doing major stuff?
We haven't got to that point, but
Okay.
yes and yes. We aren't gonna clean though.
No, that's what I
But,
mean, clean
but
out.
to clear everything out, yeah, that week up to the 9th, we will probably designate a couple of days, and if somebody's willing to come in and give a hand, we would love it. That would be really helpful. The rec center, we have had conversations, and the heavy lifting they will be doing. Marjan will be moving our kilns for us, so they're in good hands.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I know so far anyway. But I will keep you up to date on what we're doing, what days, and go from there. Yeah, Barb?
Does that cost our clubs how Marjan's coming?
No, that's on the rec center.
Oh.
Yeah, it was either they do it or they can pay to have it done, and Marjan, I think, has given us a real good bid, so hopefully, I'm planning on it. Okay, and we'll go to Deb with our January financials.
Well, I just wanted to tell everybody, you know, I'm your numbers person. I'm the person who says we have to charge more for clay. I'm the person who says this isn't working out, folks. Sorry. So anyway, when I was doing the CR7 this year, I noticed a couple of things that are more like a fun fact or an interesting fact about our club that has to do with our financials. And I just wanted to share some of the excitement, okay? Our monitors sold $46,604.80 worth of merchandise. Okay, I want to thank, first of all, Lori for training the monitors, Merle for helping make the video that trains the monitors, and everyone who steps up for someone who has a question at the monitoring desk. It has made my job so easy because everybody's following the rules, everybody's filling out the paperwork really well, and that's a tremendous amount of money to be filtered through our small club. And I just think that's really important, that we know that the monitors are really doing a great job in handling our money. So that was a fun fact. Interest on our CDs last year was $1,438.94, which is just extra money that comes to us, which helps, you know, provide things like a new extruder or things like that we need. And then, one of the things on the CR7 I used last year's to kind of remember how I did it and whatever. One of the most amazing financial facts about the 2023 Clay Club is that Mike Deal, the kiln team, and the maintenance team saved a whopping $4,681.17 over the prior year. And from what I understand, they're checking the kilns monthly, they're doing preventative maintenance, things like that. And we as a club need to thank all those people who, you know, step up every month to make our club work and save that kind of money. I mean, it's just amazing. And so, Mike, here's a small token from the club to thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you.
Okay, now to just get down to the nitty gritty. Okay, as of January 31st, our checking account had $17,528.24. Our savings account had $7,501. CD number 1 has $10,287.28, CD 2, $20,574.56, and CD 3, $20,574.56. As of, we have $348.37 accrued interest, but not yet deposited because our CDs at 4.5% mature on September 9th. So we're doing really well with the CDs and saving money that way. Last month I reported that we worked with the rec center about, on our balance sheet, we had this inventory for sale that was way out of whack, and we were trying to figure out how to get it, because it makes our bottom line look like we have a ton more assets than we do. I went to the rec center, they told us we could write that whole thing off. We decided that we wanted to check with our CPA directly. He said, no, you cannot. Anything that we directly sell, which are tools, clay, oxides, things like that, we have to keep as inventory for sale. So luckily, we weren't doing a whole lot of purchasing before the end of the year, so that only, the end of the year inventory for sale was only $1373.90. So we're gonna be able to still write off that $12,000, which is mostly our glazes and chemicals and things like that, that we do not sell directly. They're considered a benefit of something else that you buy, according to our CPA. We have an appointment with the CPA next week. Everything should look good. So that's a much more accurate display of what our financial quote-unquote assets are. So it's just kind of a technical thing you all wanted to know. Let's see.
I didn't know.
Okay. Any questions? Okay.
Thanks for all that fun with numbers, Deb. Okay, Shauna was here this morning. She had to zip out for an appointment. Let's see, she is going to be setting up a meeting for all the committee leads. We like to do that once a year. So if you're a committee lead, just keep that in mind. It will be sometime later February. And it looks like all committees have leads at this point. And I'm just wondering about shards. We used to have somebody who did shards, and then I heard that it was, do you do the shards now, Laura? Okay, perfect. Okay, we are in need of some more shards.
Provide us with the clay, we'll be happy.
We will be happy to provide you with that clay. Yes?
I just have a quick question. Last, I don't know, summer, Dee Johnson and I made a whole, we took a whole 25-pound thing of clay and made shards, and there was like maybe 2 or 3 still in the, we made round ones, we made oval ones, different sizes. I don't know where they go to.
I don't know what happens to them either.
Yeah.
I know that some of them get thrown away, but they do seem to.
Glaze ones.
Please
do not throw them away.
Got that? Do not throw away shards.
The kiln
Laura
team,
will
either the kiln team will throw it away or the gel team will throw it away.
throw it away or
We are refurbishing.
refurbish it.
shards.
Okay.
And don't put the ones that have glaze on them back in the drawer, because a lot of them have sharp, they have glaze on them.
There is a box outside on the patio of bad shards that need to be ground and washed.
Okay, where is that box kept? We need to find it a home. So it's not.
It's out on the porch in the
Okay.
back there.
Okay.
And where you look down onto the right, there's a big box of bad shards there. You have to go through the yellow.
It's where the kilns are. the
Okay.
outside kilns.
Back in the little kiln area, okay. And just as a reminder, as we're clearing things out, right now we finally got rid of those white cabinets that were stuck in the back corner there. That back corner is being cleared out right now, so we have room to put our kilns out there once we empty out everything for the flooring. However, that will be a different area. It'll still house the paint booth and the sander, but we're also going to put the pneumatic extruder back in that area once we have everything put back into place. So,
Is that the uncovered area?
no, it's covered. It's covered. Yeah, it is covered. And gosh, I was gonna say something else, it just slipped, no problem, happens. Right, 60s, okay. Oh, and I do need to mention that we just bought another group of name tags. What did we get, 50 of them? 100 name tags, little bag.
Oh, the little ones.
No.
Oh, no, the big ones, okay.
There wasn't
100.
that much.
It was 100.
And name tags are now costing us $9.95 a piece. Yeah. We have, Shauna was able to find some just little cheap ones that we can put, you know, your name on. If you want to replace one, those are $3.95. If you want to replace your original one, that's going to be $10. We are looking for other options in how to reduce that cost. I think that we can come up with something, but for now, we got this little bag of 100 name tags for over $900, so over $999, so.
What about parts, like the magnets? The magnets seem to get lost pretty easy.
We don't have any extra parts, so you gotta just kind of hang in there with what you've got. I know mine fell apart, and I have some of that, that super tape that's got a tape on both sides. Norman uses E6000, but you know, there's lots of other things that you can do for that. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm babbling on too much, and we gotta get going here. Okay, second VP, Lori, status of members.
How many was there?
329.
330.
As of today, there was 330 members. We still have a lot of people who are in need of monitor hours, and we're not able to find them. So I'm gonna try to open up 4 to 8 shifts for 2 reasons. One is we can keep open all night if there's 2 monitors. For another one, that'll give them a chance to fill in their time. And I need it to be the part-timers only. If you're full-timers, please don't sign up for that. And if you need time and you're in the summer, I'll deal with that then, just one-on-one with you guys.
Does that mean we're gonna be open till 8 o'clock more days?
No, just still Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, but a lot of times people go home for dinner and they have to close if there's just one monitor, so that limits, you know, the time that we're open on the nights.
And the monitors have to stay too.
Yeah, and the monitors need to keep the club open from 4 to 8 if there's 2 of them. And that's ideal, because people go home and eat,
Perfect.
and then they wanna come home at 6. So I will open those up for the new members who can't find times.
That's a good idea. We'll always have 2 people here.
Well, I'm not saying always.
But I mean, if 2 people sign up to monitor, those are the 2 people.
Exactly, exactly. And I think that'll work both ways. They'll get their monitor times in, and we'll be able to, for sure, keep the club open.
I have a question. When you help with the hand building, couldn't you give them the 4 hours? Are there hours of monitoring, and then we can give up our hours to?
I do. You get 2 hours,
Yeah, but.
or 2 monitor times.
2 monitor times for 16 hours of helping.
Well, that's something we decided on
Okay.
when, we can talk about that later. It is a lot of hours.
It is a lot, and there's a lot of people that want the hours. I was working with somebody last night, and they can't get in, and she said it's all booked up.
She
And I
needs to
said,
call
I wish
me.
I could give her mine,
Yeah.
because I'm still helping with that.
Not right now. We'll have to deal with that then. But, yeah, and they really need to contact me, but if it's open up, they can sign up if I open up that time. Somebody else? Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Lori. And that does bring up a good point. We'll have some more discussion about the fact that you have people who are helping you out with hand building. It is 16 hours that they're putting in, and we will reconsider making that 3 monitor times.
I think we get more help too. I mean, because you're putting in 16 hours, I'm putting in 8 hours over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and they're short, and as you bring in more people, they're gonna need more hours there too, so it kind of balances.
Yeah.
And one other thing I'll mention is I have spoken to the rec center about maybe seeing if we can get a little more space, at least for a classroom or something like that. So they are looking at that. They did bring up the fact, are you busy in the evenings? Are you utilizing all your hours? So what we are doing is working with Glora and looking for teachers who might be willing to do a little class in the evening time, maybe a 5 to 7 or 8 class, something like that. So that we can utilize the nighttime a little better. Yeah, Barb?
Well, there are many clubs in this community that do not do anything at nights. And this is kind of a penalizing point for us because we do open at night. They're going to count that against us?
No, they're not counting it against us. They're just saying, you know, make sure you're utilizing all your time the best you
We
can.
have to go cooked out by then.
No, I'm there with you. It's 2 o'clock, it's nap time.
I should go back over.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
But
so
we do
it's not-
have some night owls that, you know, might take advantage of that. And if need be, we could maybe even ask if we could open additional nights, but at this point, that's not worth doing. Okay, next up is Norma.
As far as education goes, as you well know, we're having all these newbies come in. I sat with about 4 of them the other day from Noreen's last class and Michelle's. And they do feel a little intimidated, so really, please be nice to them. They really love they're making cylinders and all these things just because they did learn it in hand building. They love their projects they made. We have another class going on now with Diane City and Cindy Geese. She told me how to say her name, Geestro. Like a flock of geese, okay. So we're gonna have 8 more people coming in. So just, you know, make sure you help all these people. Yes, Laura?
Well, you know, it's hard to, you know, we have so many people in our club, it's hard to identify.
Yeah, everybody looks new.
I know, but when they're struggling, you'll
If you
know.
look at my apron, you can tell them that.
Put a little star on your badge or something when they first come out.
Remember, you're a newbie for the first year. So anybody, how many newbies do we have in here this year, right now? Come on, I know you. Come on, all right, I see, yeah, there's just 2. We have to get them to come to these meetings too. Welcome. All right, next, I know Tom's here, so he'll probably talk on the raccoon. We do have outside teachers that'll be coming in too, so look for classes to sign up for some of these people.
Yeah.
Okay?
Norma, they also put their pictures and everything on Facebook, so you can always go there and see all the new members.
Yes,
It's
you
always
can. They're
a
taking them and putting them as a
welcome.
group.
Yeah, that kinda helps.
Okay. Okay, sorry about the agenda being so long today. We'll try and kick through it here. Donna, do you have anything to add about lockers?
Just a little bit, Like we said, there's 330 paid members right now. We only have 290 lockers. But with that said, I do have about 20-ish upper lockers open. So I will be giving out more lockers. We brought some of the people in the upper lockers down to where they wanted some better locker. So now, of course, the newbies are gonna have to get a tall locker. That's where we all started, right?
I started on the bottom because it would be unsafe.
Thank you, Donna. I know that's a big task. Okay, and Norma already covered for education. Raku, Tom, do you have anything to add?
Anybody interested in Raku, we still have a couple openings for the February class, which if you have 2 pieces that are BIS, it'll be Monday. If not, you've got plenty of time to get a couple pieces ready for February. Excuse me, for the February classes, that starts the 4th. So we'd love to have anybody. Yes. So anybody that's, you know, interested in Raku, please come and sign up for a class.
Thank you, Tom. Mike, do you have any more to add?
Just real quick, so just to keep everybody in the loop, we have one rent wheel that's in need of repair. We'll be getting at that in a few days, just so you know. And then today, several of us are tackling kiln number 2. We're going to replace some bricks and all of the elements in number 2. We're doing that today, and maybe have to continue on Saturday. So if you see dust flying in the kiln room, that's what we're up to.
Thank you, Mike. And Jude is not here today, so thank you, Jude, for all you do for us, mud times and what have you. And Mark, did you have any more to add?
No, I think we're good.
You're good? Okay. Gretchen, social?
I knew I saw you somewhere.
Okay, so I've got Belinda working on a handout that will list all of our entire year's schedule, and it'll be at the front desk at the monitor station, and the beginning hand building teachers can hand them out to the new people as well. So that's coming, and I'm gonna go over some of the new things we have coming up. February 22nd is our first happy hour, and we're turning it into a potluck, and it's here at the Beardsley Courtyard and the Digley Studio at 4 o'clock. The sign-up sheets are out, and it includes member and one guest, and there's no charge, and we'd love for you to bring your items, your potluck items in your newly made casserole dishes or whatever things that you've made here in the clay club. We're just showing off your pottery, but we'd really like to see those wonderful casserole dishes because that's all we see on those shelves anymore, those casserole dishes. Might as well show them off. Let's see, did I forget anything about that? Nope. Okay, flyer, the next event after that will be our National Carrot Day on April 4th, and I'm modeling carrots. So if you guys want to wear your carrot shirts and hats or whatever, I'm sure you all have one. Isn't he cute? But yeah, this social committee is a little odd, and we like to wear weird things and celebrate weird things. So yeah, we're into clothing and hats and whatever. Carrot cake at the Digley Studio at 10 o'clock. So we're gonna celebrate National Carrot Day. And April 4th, did I say that? April 18th is our picnic here at the Beardsley Courtyard, and we are going to celebrate National Animal Cracker Day. So we've got a lot of things going into that. We'll talk about that later. Beardsley Park, 4 o'clock. We'll be providing the food and probably soft drinks, and it'll be a bring your own beverage thing. Oh, also for the happy hour, we do have to ask you to bring your own beverage as well, your alcoholic beverages. We're not allowed to serve anymore, so apologize for that. That was a lot of fun. I miss those days. I think that covers that. There's more things, but we'll just go that far with April 18th is our last one. And can I talk quickly about Happy Camp? Okay, Happy Camp's back. So the Happy Camp starts on March 18th through the March 29th, I think it is, but we're going to have 2 days, March 18th and March 25th, here at the Digley Studio. They're both Mondays from 9 to 11. The kids are signing up for that, and I'm going to need 8 volunteers for each day. So what that entails is, obviously you have to have some hand building experience, but we're one-on-one with the kids, and we're guiding them. We're gonna kind of tell them how to use the tools and the slab roller or whatnot, but we don't want you building it for them. And they go in and they have the best imagination. So we'll have some samples, but a lot of times they'll just go off on their own and build things. We give them 2 pounds of clay, and they pick it up that Friday. We'll fire it up for them, and they can take it home. The sign-up sheet will be coming out soon, and it'll be at the monitor station. So again, I need 9 for Monday the 18th and 9 for Monday, March 25th, from 9 to 11 both days. And this will be my last year to do this, so it's so rewarding. So anybody that wants to shadow or whatever, think about doing this, taking over the duties. It's a lot of fun. It's great. Oh, let me know.
Jordy, Odette, do you have more to add?
You betcha. So I'm going to reiterate on a lot of things that have already been said, but my number one thing is it's that time of year again, and the Kiln team has a limited space in which to put your lovely pieces of art. So please pick things up I just want to reiterate that it's that time when we can't figure out where to put stuff. And I wanted to thank the maintenance team. I know Mike's already gotten a big thank you and a card, but I got nothing other than our appreciation for everything he's done. I mean, they've implemented monthly checks. I think that's really helped us keep our kilns up and running efficiently and effectively. And not to mention the outstanding ventilation system that really improves our safety, because there are some fumes that come off during kiln firing. And now we know and have confidence that these fumes are being exited up and away from everybody. So thanks to Mike and the team. I know they're working hard and they're going to rebuild part of number 2 today, and I'm pretty excited about that. And the last point I have is that we really do need some more volunteers for the team. We currently have 21 people, and it's just not enough. We have, if you just do the math, 20 people get you teams of 2, get you 5 times a year. And so 5 times a year is a lot. It's a big commitment. So we have, I'm looking for people. I prefer people that are here only, the seasonal people only here in the wintertime, to kind of express some interest. We do have some basic requirements. And the basic requirements are, if you are a kiln, want to be a part of the kiln team, we need you to be committed to being there 3 days, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, in the weeks that you're signed up for, typically from 8 until noon, when the kilns have to be started, and then the following Monday. So that's the commitment that you need to kind of consider. But don't be afraid if you can't do it 5 times, because if you do the math, the more people you have, the fewer times that you would have to load over the course of the year. So that's all I have from the kiln team.
Thank you. Odette, did you have anything? No? Okay.
Lynn, I have one more thing. People have been calling into the monitor station to ask them to go see if their work is done. The monitors are not allowed to go pick up each piece, and it's too hard to do that. You can call in and say, hey, has the kiln been unloaded? But above and beyond that, they're not allowed to go over there and find out if your particular piece is out.
Thank you, Lori. Yeah, that's a little bit much to expect. Yeah, Laura.
Maybe the monitors might suggest to the caller on the phone that if you do come in and check your own work, you do get credit for your 24 visits.
There you go. Good. I like that. Very good, Laura.
Like I have trouble with getting 24.
Mary, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Along the lines of Kiln Committee, Odette and I were comparing some notes earlier. There's currently a pile of shards that belong to individuals on the education tables. You might check there. There's an upcoming sale in the beginning of March. If you're involved, please plan ahead, check your schedules. We fire on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, regardless of what your schedule is. And we'd like to remind people, fill out your firing tickets completely, please. We appreciate your attention to detail. Thank you.
Thank you. That was a good note. I'd like to add to that a little bit. With sales coming up, there's always a big rush of items to be fired. Keep in mind, we also have 2 new classes in March. So people, you gotta realize that we've gotta consider that. The kiln team is really good at being fair to everyone, but it might mean that not all your items get put in at the same time. So, like Betty said, please think ahead and remember that there are a lot of people going for the kilns right now. Okay, and I think that's, I'd just like to thank Linda Connell and her team. And Laura, do you have anything?
Well,
we grind the shells from the additional glaze that is being applied to these pieces, and I know you wanna put 2 or 3 coats on, but please fettle the bottom of your piece so that it'll at least reduce some of that glaze running.
Okay, if you didn't hear that, please fettle the bottom of your pieces to help reduce glaze running, so that we don't have quite so much to scrape off of the kilns. It is quite a chore to do that. Anything else, Laura?
No, that's it.
Okay, and, yes, yes.
Fettle me.
Michelle's right there. I think Michelle will take care of that for you. Okay. I don't think we have anything else. Does anybody have any questions?
I would like to just make an observation. With so many new people here working and all that, the drying shelves are full. And a lot of people, if someone goes with me, they're leaving their stuff there. They might take their piece off, but they leave the plastic there, or they have a more this big. I found one this big, a little object like this on, taking up all that room. So I'll tell you, if you saw it moved, I moved it. I thought that was stupid. But to be honest with you, people leave papers up there. I mean, it's like we have to pick up after you. And like I said, I really.
Yeah, so just kind of remember some housekeeping, pick up after yourself when you're done with the shelves, because we don't want anybody moving items. And I wanted to make one other comment. I did have somebody drop a slip in the box, in our suggestion box, about the back room. In this busy time, you have to share the back room. It's not specifically for wheel drying. It's for everybody. We have a lot of tall pieces being done right now, and please be considerate. If you've got a short little piece, don't use the tall racks. Keep those open for the things like all the tall things. We've got some tall cats and cactus and miscellaneous stuff going through, so just be thoughtful.
What's the back room?
The back drying room.
DLS.
Where you're going, no, not DLS. The back drying room as you're going out to the patio.
Where we used to store the clay.
Yeah, where the clay used to be.
Terry, sometimes
That's the one I use all the time. It's closest to my wheel.
Because I've taken my piece off and trim it or attach something, and I want to put it back. If you take it off and take your wrap off, somebody takes your spot and you have no place to put your piece.
No, but some of these things.
I realize that. I'm just saying that sometimes that happens.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so let's all just try to be thoughtful of what we're doing.
The only thing I would say, whether you're putting stuff on the drying rack or on the shelves to be fired, don't put them in the middle. Put them, if you put them in the middle, then people can't put other things around them. Use the space wisely.
Yeah.
On the firing racks, the kiln people can move things, but if somebody else brings a piece and, this thing's sitting in the middle and they just need a little bit of space, they're really not supposed to move that. So be wise, and considerate about putting your stuff on the shelves.
Agreed. So again, just be thoughtful when you put things away, and make sure you're using the best use of our space during these busy, busy times. Any other comments? Any other comments? Did you guys have something?
Rolled over to the right.
I'm sorry, I meant to mention this.
It's on.
It's on. Okay, there is a sale coming up, and all the things that you don't want to pack away for next time, the social committee would love your donations for prizes in the future, because we got lots of events coming up, so anything you want to donate, it doesn't even have to be clay items, it can be foo-foo perfume, whatever. But yeah, we want to have lots of prizes this year to give out for all of our activities. Looking for donations.
As long as the perfume is not in the club. Okay, any other comments? Okay, do I hear a motion to adjourn? Thank you, everybody.